Hello, sorry about that. I had some technical difficulties, y'all. I was trying to StreamYard another way, but we're back in action. We're gonna do this again. So, like I was saying earlier, though, I didn't realize like the can of worms I would start with this conversation, and I was just trying to bring us together. And I think I got some conclusions from what I've from the conversation we'd had earlier. I think I still want to talk to. I'm so happy Queen of Wolves is here. Thank you for being here. I still want to talk to you because you are triracial, right? Or quad racial. You're four different races, right?
Correct.
I think that is so cool. So you're MGM. So your family's been mixing like for a couple generations now. So I think that is so cool. Oh my goodness. So I do have a couple questions for you. Yeah, we back. We're back. Sorry about that. But yeah, I do have a couple questions for you because I'm really am concerned about like the next generations, because so were your parents biracial? Like how were they both biracial parents or what was that like?
No, so funny thing is, my dad, he is triracial, and my mom was also racial. So, like,
That's so cool.
once you start getting further down, it really depends what you take from your parents. So, my grandparents, they were also triracial, quadracial, because both of their parents were biracials. And then or sorry, one of their, like, so on my mom's side, her um grandfather, his mom was triracial, his dad was biracial. And then my grandmother's side, her dad was biracial and her mom was biracial. And then, so I would say on my grandfather's side, they are mixed, I want to say four generations. And on my grandmother's side, on my mom's side, this is all my mom's side, they are mixed, I want to say six or seven generations. So everywhere you look up, everybody's for the most part light skinned, mixed, or they are dark, like black and Indian. Because I have an aunt who is she's darker skinned, but she has like more straight hair, a little bit more Indian features. Because my grandmother's mom, she was black and Indian.
Mhm.
So, and then on my dad's side, um, his mom, I think she was either triracial or biracial, just because I have a baby picture with my great grandfather and or sorry, yeah, my great grandfather, and he was black and Chinese. And
Wow.
then my dad's mom, she was definitely like more mulatto. Like, she
Mhm.
had super long, curly, wavy hair, and she was lighter, and so was my dad. So both of my parents, they're like quad, tri.
That's amazing. See, that's
Sorry,
so
that
cool.
was a
I'm so
lot.
happy. Yeah, thank you for explaining that. That's so cool. That's like that you identify as MGM, right? That's how you identify?
Yeah, I do.
That's so cool. So, do you guys identify with one part of your culture more than another part, or did you guys kind of come together and create your own culture and kind of like pull from all your different cultures and stuff? So,
So honestly, I can't speak for all MGM, because a lot of the
it's all different.
conversation, yeah, my parents all came from the Caribbean, so I'm like the first generation born here in the U.S. Um,
Oh
my
wow.
mom, yeah, so um, like all my family is Caribbean on my mom's side and on my dad's side. So my dad, he grew up in Jamaica. My mom, she grew up in Guyana. And so, yeah, it's, I don't
That's
know.
amazing. Oh, sorry.
Like for us, I don't know if it was necessarily intentional that we all ended up being like biracials and triracials and all that. And then even my dad, he ended up having me with my mom, but then he also had a daughter with a white woman. So it's like it's even more mixing. So down her line, it's gonna be mixed more, and whoever I'm with, it's gonna be what it is. But as far
Oh, I'm
as
trying to
like
fix my spammer.
Caribbeans go, I don't know. We're just all mixed. It just happens that down my family line, we've been mixing for a long time. And I do want to say this: not everyone who is MGM are the products of like forced mixing.
Right. Yeah. It's not
So
all like products of like grape, as they say on lies that we have to say, I
yeah,
guess. Yeah.
like when I was
Wow.
going down our line, I actually found out that my like our first biracial family members, they were consensual relationships, and this
That's
was
beautiful.
way after slavery happened. So I really don't like, the narrative that, oh, you like that they automatically think if you're mixed you're just a product of that. That's not
Exactly.
exactly
Exactly.
true.
I think that's more of like an American. Like if your family's been in America for generations, they automatically assume, which has been debunked. I've brought that up in conversations, and people are telling me a book called "Illicit Sex in the 19th Century," and it was about how people were just different races were coming together and hooking up, and just So it doesn't. I think it is destructive. It is anti-mix to always just automatically assume that your products, your ancestors and stuff are just products of forced interactions that we're not products of love. We're products of love. Like we really are. We have a lot of different love sources that we come together. And I think that's very healing for us to hear that we're not all like, there's just one narrative about us that that we need to combat. And I'm happy that you're using your voice to like say that, because that's actually really healing, and that's really good for me to hear. I really like that. Yep.
Absolutely.
I really like that a lot. And in these spaces, so I came to the conclusion, because I think we do like what we have in common is we have different backgrounds, different cultures, different ways of thinking, different all these different terms. But I do really resonate with the term like golden people, because I feel like that kind of like represents us really well. Even that's gonna have its own diversity. Not everybody's like golden skin color. Some people are more lighter, some people are more darker. But I do kind of resonate with that, and I do like want to
Same.
yeah, I do want to kind of like build our own like collective, you know what I'm saying? Like where we could like know who our people are. It's like, okay, these are the people who, because most of us are in America now, right? I think most of my audience is in America. So like we are trying to like identify and have our own identity here in America. It's a tactic
Yeah.
used by people to identify. Exactly. When we have our own identity, we're starting to build our own identity, our own collective culture, our own way of thinking, we're starting to um tell our own story here, instead of always people who are anti-mix, who hate the fact we exist, who don't want us to exist, who don't like us, who don't want us in their community, who are always trying to speak for us, and who are always trying to tell us who we are. So we're starting to speak up and say, no, this is who we are. We're gonna stand firm in who we are, and our all of our different backgrounds, even no matter what culture we come from. We're all over the place, but we still can come together
Yes.
and share each other's stories, because we do have a lot of similarities, and we do have a lot of things we got in common. So that's why I wanted to come together and bring us together, like, because this is I'm a first generational mixed person. So was there I wanted to ask like some MGM people, like, since your parents are mixed or anything, what advice would you give to like a biracial person who me and my husband are both biracial, so our kids are going to be MGM and mixed up. So is there any advice you would give to like first generational biracial people, to their kids, like, um did they raise you like to just embrace that you're mixed, and like expose you to all your different cultures, and make sure like who you are, and like how was that like like growing up?
No, actually, it's funny. So, for me, like I said, Caribbean background. So when I came, oh, sorry, growing up, I wasn't really raised on like the history of Black people, and I just think it's
Mm,
because my family just didn't really know. Like my
right.
grandmother, she was like a little girl, and she heard like Martin Luther King on the radio, but like by
Mhm.
time she came to the States, it was like, I want to say this like maybe mid to late 70s.
Mhm.
So, growing up, I would say they didn't really raise me to see myself a certain way. I mean, I just kind of lived my life. I attracted who I
Mm.
attracted in my life.
Yeah, I can
We
relate to
didn't,
that, right?
yeah, we
Yeah.
didn't really talk about race at all growing up.
Mhm.
And that's the thing. Not every mixed family talks about race. I
That's how
mean,
it was in my family. Yep.
yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
and some do, some don't. I do know for my brother, however, my mom, she did have to have a bit of a conversation with him when he got in his teens. He's a little bit darker than me, and his dad is from Sierra Leone,
Mhm.
and he has a really bad temper, and he
Mm.
so, like, just as a boy, my mom, she would be like, "Hey, you can't like act, these ways." And she did refer to him as a black man, but she never called me a black woman. Like, so,
Mm. That's interesting.
yeah, and
Does he look?
so
Is he more like black presenting? So is that why he kind of? Is that why she did that?
I don't know. I have no idea. He is more black presenting, yes.
Mhm.
Um, but like she never just sat down and said that, because like recently I actually came out to her and said, "Hey, look, I identify as mixed. I've been living
Mhm.
the mixed experience." I used to tell people I was black because I didn't know what I was mixed with. I actually had to ask my grandparents because
Mhm.
they understood their roots more. And I had said this in the Discord earlier. My mom came from Guyana. She got beat up a lot for her accent. Um,
Mm.
but I also wondered if it was because of her mix as well, because she
Mhm.
got rid of that accent.
Mm.
She
That's so
mostly,
sad.
yeah, and the thing is, like, she identifies herself as black because we have different hair textures, but
Mm.
she didn't really feel any kind of way about it. Like,
Mhm.
I told her I identify as mixed, and I explained to her why, and she said, "Oh, okay." And when I actually spoke to my great grandparents, or sorry, my grandparents, about our mixes, she actually started embracing her mix more, especially when we found out, the mixing wasn't a product of rape. So I think the older generations, I think they have a little bit more hangups about talking about that because maybe back in those times they didn't really differentiate between black and mixed people. But sorry, I know I'm kind of going off on a tangent.
Oh no, you're good. I like listening. I'm listening. I'm here. That's what I'm here to learn and listen.
Okay. Well, I recently spoke to an uncle who is is also mixed. He's my grandfather's brother, and I talked to him about some of the experiences I had growing up that I didn't realize was happening to many mixed people. And when I started talking about it, this is a man who's like in his 70s now. He was like, I don't really I never really thought about this stuff on a regular basis, but now that you're saying this, you remind me of times when people would say I'm the milkman's son, and people would talk about my hazel eyes, or things like that. And that's the thing I noticed when I have spoken to other mixed people. It's not that we're thinking about it on a regular basis, but when people start bringing up stuff and you realize, oh, this is happening to you all as well, you're like, oh, okay, wow, this is the mixed experience. Sorry, I know I'm kind
Exactly.
of going on a
No,
tangent.
that's interesting. Yeah, because it's the older. Like, do you think it's a good idea? Like somebody Tuti brought up a good point. Do you think it's a good idea to talk about race with mixed families? Like, do you think that's a good idea? Should we just like? I don't think we should ignore it. I don't think we should ignore it. I think we should know our history. I think that's so important because so many of us deal with like identity issues and stuff, and not really knowing where we belong and not really knowing where we. That's why we all kind of came to these spaces so we could kind of figure things out together and, you know, try to come together and
I do
embrace who we
think
are,
it's
right?
important. I do think it's important to talk about it because I think mixed people need to be empowered in their identity. Um, I because I think there is a lot of shame, especially here in the US, about being mixed. And I think that's why here more than anywhere else people don't claim it. I mean, you go to Canada, they have a whole group that they have a part on their like version of government forms that has things for mixed people. They have that in the UK too, and in Australia. The US, I think because of its history, there's a lot of shaming. And so, yes, I do think it should be discussed. I do think people should know their mix and their history and all that. There shouldn't be any shame around it.
And it's
And
ironic, right? Oh, sorry.
mhm.
Go ahead. What were you saying?
I was going to say, I realized I didn't answer a question you asked earlier because I went off on a soapbox. So I do apologize.
You're
As
absolutely
far
perfect.
as
Don't worry.
Yeah, as far as your kids, um, I would say, children are, guided by their parents. I think it really depends on, how you feel about it. Cause I mean, I'm, a sum of my experiences. I've been very open-minded. Um, and I do kind of think that's because our family didn't harp so much on race. It's not because they don't know that there was slavery here in the US, but it's not something that they um, allowed to like maybe stop them from going into certain spaces and do certain things. And like my when my grandma came here, didn't she like did some cleaning a little bit as an immigrant before she fully processed, but she did some cleaning for a white family, and she didn't have any racist experiences with them or anything like that. She worked banking, didn't have any weird experiences. So I'm not trying to take away from anyone here in the US. It's just mixed people as a whole, we don't all have the same experiences. And so I
Yep.
think with children, um, I would say just let them figure out who they are. Um,
Right.
and don't, I mean, you can talk about it, but I don't know if I would talk about it so much that they feel like it defines where they should go
Yes,
and what they should do.
exactly. I've always
Like,
thought of it. It's a part of it's like what you are, but not who you are. You know what I'm saying? That's how I've always kind of thought about it. You know, and so I think I think that's why it's so important we talk to people outside of America because we are decades behind. Like it's so taboo. It's ironic because we're supposed to be the melting pot or whatever, but it's so like people are so it's so taboo to talk about these types of things out in public. You know, people don't really want to talk about these types of things because they feel like it causes division. Or but I think it's important. We got to have some boundaries. We got to know who we are. We got to know where we stand. We got to know,
yes.
you know what I'm saying? We got to talk about these things in America, you know. So I think that's why these conversations are so important. I do want to hear about I know Foster, he's from the UK, you know.
Hmm.
So I do want to hear about like what is it like for like growing up in like a culture that does recognize that you're mixed instead of us like we're just like, oh, you're just black, and then like we go to the black community, oh, you're not black, there's a million people who remind us we're not black, and so we're trying to like figure things out and trying to figure out and trying to create a space for us here because it's like we've been the one drop rule has been so prevalent in this country, and so we're now we are like so behind when it comes to like having our own identity and being able to like, you know, build and connect with people that like
Yeah.
have the same collective and the same identity versus always trying to fit in somewhere where we're not wanted, you know what I'm saying? So it's like it's so hard for us because people think in black and white so much, you know what I'm saying? When there's a third option here that we got to choose. Yes, we're mixed, this is who we are, you know, and we all have different experiences, you know, but we can still come together and like just really stand firm in our identity and not let nobody shame us no more because it is really shamed. It is like a shameful thing in America. Like it was illegal until 1967 to Loving versus Virginia. So, you know, that really wasn't that long ago to me. Until the 60s, like our existence was illegal here in America. So it's just crazy. I really am loving these conversations, you know. I really am like
Yes.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, and I definitely want to hear from all mixes, not just like black and white mixes. I want to hear from Blasians. I want to hear from Wage. I want to hear from all types of mixes and all of their different experiences here in America. Because I do think what we do have in common that I hear from all like mixed people, oh, they don't feel this enough for this side, or they feel too white on this side, and then too they're not Asian enough for this side. I think that is a common experience that we do need to talk about, and we do could try to find some way out of that, because it's really hurtful, not feeling like you have a place to fit in or a place to belong. And then we do need these mixed spaces so we could feel like we have a sense of belonging.
Yeah, I definitely think it starts with recognizing that you are mixed and embracing that, because when I joined in the Exotically United Discord and I saw that so many mixed people were having similar experiences, as a whole, mixed people were very spread out, and, we don't really have our own group. But growing up, I did notice that I had many friends who were biracial, triracial. I mean, my first puppy love was with a guy who was black, white, and Italian. And just all these experiences with mixed people. And I said, I wonder if these people gravitated to me because they didn't have any other, sense of community or someone who they felt looked like them that they could be close to, because you're not fully accepted in the black community, or whatever monoracial counterpart you're mixed with, as a mixed person. And so my heart just went out when I joined Exotically United, and I heard all the stories of things that people went through. um so yeah, identifying and embracing that mixed heritage, but also recognizing other mixed people when you go out and, talking with them, being friendly, showing people that other mixed people that you see them.
Yeah, and can you explain your heritage one more time, because I think he's kind of confused. He asked what are you, because I think he didn't really get that part. So you're basically MGM, you know yeah, can you explain that one more time for somebody in the chat real quick?
Okay, so I am MGM. My family line is uh, it's it's harder to talk about this because everyone in my family line is mixed.
Mm-hmm.
So trying to say who's triracial, who's biracial,
Right. And
it's
we need to
not.
respect people's experiences, because I'm so tired of people thinking this is only a space for black and white. Like if your parents white, and it's just like this is a space for all mixed people to share their experiences. So we got to respect everybody's identity and everybody's experience in here. So that's the whole point of us coming together, so we can learn about each other's experiences and not feel like, only this mix deserves a voice, or only this mix. You know what I'm saying? So we're about uniting. We'll get farther in life in America if we unite as people. As I really do. The golden people. Like I really do resonate with that a lot. So
Yes. So my mix is black, white, Chinese, and Indian. I'm Caribbean. So we've been mixing for a long time. Um, and so my mother, she was also a quadracial. My dad, he was triracial. And I just happened to take those four as far as DNA tests, quote unquote. But I don't know, because I still don't even know what, all my mom is, because her dad was black, white, Syrian, and Indian. And then my mom's mom, she was black, Indian, Portuguese. So she could have taken any of those. But yeah, so that's basically me. I don't want to overcomplicate it, because like for my specific multi-generationally mixed, we're down to my great great grandparents were all mixed. So Yeah, we don't have any monoracials. Nothing against monoracials, but I don't have any monoracials on my father or my mother's side for many, many generations. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
and I just love it, you know, because it's like it makes me think about my future generations, of course, like I said. And yeah, this channel is for people. It's for all mixed people, all mixed races. I wanna promote and uplift our voices because we need that in America. We live in America. We live in America. We need to uplift mixed voices because we're so overshadowed. Like nobody really um is interested in our voices really because they kind of shut it down. Like we don't have no right to speak on our experiences, you know, because people think we're privileged and, you know, we're promoted so heavily in the media and we're the preferences or whatever. But, you know, we need to really have our voices be heard and not just have our image be used for whatever reason that people want to use our image for, because people are always using our image and people think that's a privilege. But if we're not in control of our image, like we got to take control of our image basically, you know, we got to take control of our stories. And that's
Hmm.
the whole point of the platform, you know, it's for all kind of people, you know. Yeah, it is. I want to learn about all
Yes.
different mixed races experiences. Exactly. Both of my parents are monoracial too, you know. And yeah, definitely. And I've never, like, it's crazy, i've never um I've never really had like mixed. This is why I like these spaces. I never really got to talk to other mixed people, you know.
Hmm.
This is why I value these spaces so much, you know. And I never really got to connect with other mixed people. I've always been around either 100% like in the white community is mostly all other white people, or all in the black community. I'm the only mixed person no matter where I go. And you know, I just like connecting with other mixed people and learning about them. And yeah, it makes me feel empowered. Like this is empowering to me. Just connection, like the connection and being able to unify, being able to, like, you know, have these types of connections is empowering to me, you know.
Yeah. And I will say, you know, even though I'm quadiracial because, we grew up Caribbean, because as you know, like in the Caribbean, there's like 6 or 7 different races, and it just really blends everything. I have some, family members who look full Portuguese. I have family members who look Indian, and different things like that. And but we all grew up, I mean, they all grew up in the Caribbean. So because you have Chinese people who are Caribbean, you have Indian, all of that. So culturally, Caribbean to me is mixed, but we didn't really grow up, because technically, I guess, well, not I guess, but technically for the white side, I'm Swedish and Finnish mixed, DNA wise. But since we were in the Caribbean, we didn't really have any Swedish or Finnish, culture growing up. So everybody who's multi-generationally mixed may have a different story as far as how they culturally identify, by the way.
And do you feel like you identify? This is the thing. I feel like a lot of like biracial people, MG people, they have a hard time like identifying with each other. So I feel like I could definitely identify with MG. I'm like I'm talking to them more, I'm communicating with them more, and I'm seeing what we have in common. I'm seeing our and respecting our differences, of course. You know, I definitely believe in respecting people's differences and being open to learning about other people, and not because not all of us can relate to everything, but we do have something. I believe everybody has something in common, and we're not going to relate to everything on every topic. So, but I do think that do you feel like you could identify with like biracial people? Like, do you feel like you could kind of like see yourself in them, or well, how do you feel about that?
So I try to be careful about that because I don't want to offend anybody. So I I do see myself in biracial people, but I just never said that out loud because, you know, I don't know, like, because I'm not biracial. But the thing is, my sister is, and we have talked about this stuff, and we talked about growing up and the stuff we've heard. And we've had similar experiences, except she grew up with a white mom and I grew up with a mixed mom. So it's like the reason I try to be careful is because I don't want it to make it seem like, oh, my experience is the same as a biracial person's experience, because I do want to be
Exactly.
respectful. Yeah, it's different. It's it's just respect, you know.
Hmm. I really think the divide with like MGM is like a cultural divide because some people, everybody's coming from all different types of cultures and stuff. And if somebody, we have to respect people's cultures at the end of the day. If somebody's sitting here trying to bash your culture or where you come from, like if somebody, if like a biracial person who's mostly raised in like the white community, they don't really know. That's something people have told me. They go by what they think white people like, you know, the media, and they think that's black culture, but that's not. You know what I'm saying? So they got it
Hmm.
misconstrued. They don't really understand like what black culture is, and they're gonna sit here and talk down on it. And then somebody who's MGM, who all they know is black culture, all they was raised in black culture, and then they're gonna get offended, and then it's gonna cause a divide. So it's like I think at the end of the day, we should all learn about each other's cultures, and we should all respect each other's cultures. You know, we got to expand our mind when it comes to things, and we got to be open minded and learning, because I think we should learn about all sides of ourselves. You know what I'm saying? No matter what you're mixed with, you got
Yeah.
to really embrace and love all sides of yourself. You know, and not sit here and we have to unlearn a lot of things. You know, we do. We
Yes.
have to unlearn like a lot of stuff. You know.
Yes. And I mean, you saw the other day when I put my photo in Discord, like one somebody thought I looked biracial, you know. Um I'm careful about, you know, going ahead and say, "Oh yeah, I do," because at the end of the day, I'm not, and I don't want to seem like I'm just trying to blend everybody, because that's how we get these issues where it's like, oh, everybody who's mixed is black and we're not, we're mixed.
Mhm.
um
Exactly.
I'm trying to be respectful of who people are, where they came from. But do MGM people sometimes look like biracials, and do biracials sometimes look like MGM? Yes, that is the case, but again, we should be free to identify as what we are, be respectful. I mean, like I said, growing up, I had a lot of biracial friends, and I don't mean just black and white. I've had you know, Blasian and other things like that. And you know, you do wonder, because you tend to attract what you are, or you're attracted to what you are. And so yeah, I don't know. It just,
Awesome. Hi, Alvy. Thank you for coming. I appreciate you. How you
Of
doing?
course. I'm good. I'm in the bath.
Oh,
So
okay. You taking a good bubble bath? Oh, you
yes,
relaxed.
I
Oh, I
was
love
like,
it.
I'm so embarrassed. I thought that we were like doing like a Zoom call, whatever. But apparently you're live on YouTube, so I'm just gonna go down and watch then.
Oh, you good. Okay. Thank you for coming. Yeah, but we're
Of
just
course,
basically talking
but
about like respecting, because you come from a different culture too. I really want you to get into like your cultures and your background and your admixture and stuff. And it's all about, like you said, I do think, yeah, we do share a similar phenotype. People think, oh, you look biracial. Like that is our phenotype. Like we're admixture. Like that's just a person of admixture. So like that's our phenotype that we share, but we all do come from different cultures, you know, and different parts of the world. Like you're like Queen of Wolves, like her family's from the Caribbean, you know. My family, I got like a lot of Southern roots, and then my white side's like from like Irish or something like that. They're from like Ireland, or you know, we all like originate from all different parts of the world, but it's like we all come together, and then we do share a similar look, you know, and that's what kind of unites us. But do you guys, I do really resonate. Like I do want us to have like our own term, like golden, like that kind of like isn't like an umbrella term that could kind of like like unify us, and then we could, because we got common goals that we want to do, like we want to get like hate hate crime bills passed and stuff. Like those are common goals that will benefit all of us. So I want to
I,
really focus on, you know, that. So yeah.
I think that oh, I have my sister's baby here. He's over here
Aw, cute.
cleaning the floor with his toothbrush. So
Aw.
I think mixed people should. I obviously I'm not going to tell nobody how to identify, but like I personally think that mixed people should identify as mixed. You feel me?
Yes, yes.
yes.
I don't care if you're like a quarter white and 10% um Arabic, you're whatever the hell those people from where them parts of the folks be at are whatever they are.
Right?
Um, yeah, but I think that mixed people should identify as mixed. I think we should embrace being mixed. I, you know, but especially because I am MGM, so that's another thing that's different about me and you, Magic Mulatto. I do think that a lot of MGMs are probably a lot more nestled into Black culture. Me personally, I wasn't introduced to Black culture until I was like an adult, basically. Yeah.
The baby. So cute. Yeah. So you
But
wasn't
I think
really, yeah, I kind of relate to that. I definitely relate to that. I was really raised more in white culture. And then I moved to Georgia. I moved to Atlanta when I was 16. So that's when I got introduced to Black culture. And it was like a culture shock, but it was good and bad. I'm grateful I got to embrace that part of me. I think that was healthy for me to like embrace all heritage, embrace every single part of me and get to know it. So I want Mulatto reincarnate. He says no, never. It's erasure. I would love for you to come up here and explain why you think that's erasure for us to, if we all identify. I think it's strength in numbers really, because I do feel even if like other people are a different mixture or anything, because there's barely any. I think we should
I
have
feel
like
like I feel like once we start like doing too much, it's like at that point, it's like, so we should all just go our separate ways. You feel me? Like, if that's the case,
Mhm.
I shouldn't even align with you because you're a biracial and I'm an MGM. I shouldn't
Mhm.
align with you because you're a mulatto and I'm a Blasian. So it's
Mhm.
like, where do we draw the line? Like, we can't be like, oh, we're fighting mixed people's rights, but JK, because I'm a mulatto. Or we're fighting mixed people's rights, but
Exactly.
not you because you're a Blasian. You know what I mean? So
Exactly.
we
Exactly. It
can't,
got to we got
I
to
think
come
that's too
together.
much.
That is too much because it's like we got to have a common goal here about what's going to benefit all of us and not leave like one certain mixture out of it. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to exclude anybody. Nobody wants to feel excluded. You know what I'm saying? I do want us to like, I do feel comfortable. I do feel most comfortable around like other mixed people. It don't matter
You
like they're
said that
mixed. So
somebody said it's erasure. How is it erasure? I don't see
exactly.
any. I don't. All
I'm trying to figure out
Latinas,
too.
Latinas identify as Latina. You don't see a
Hmm.
Dominican getting mad saying, "Don't call me Latina, call me Dominican," or it's erasure. Like so,
Yeah, I
that's
think mix
Great
can be
point.
like an umbrella, and then if someone wants to know
There's
more, you can be like,
subgroups.
"Oh,
facts,
I'm
facts.
biracial," and my
Exactly,
friend right
exactly.
here, she is triracial. But
Hmm.
yeah, there should be an umbrella term because
Hmm.
just looking at somebody who's mixed and another person who's mixed, nobody's thinking, "Oh, well, what mix are they, and what mix is that person?" Like, no, they just see mixed people typically as mixed.
Exactly. Like you think that somebody's coming around and be like, "Oh my God, you actually like look like a mulatto." Like unless you're like a Blasian that looks 50-50, no one's looking at you knowing what you are. They think most
Exactly.
coming from being brought up in over here in the PBA area, we just call mixed people mixed. You feel me?
Hmm.
Like it's not erasure. So the person who keeps saying that's erasure, again, do you have a answer to my question of if calling all mixed people what they are mixed, um, if if we all just referred as mixed, if we all refer to ourselves as just mixed, um, how is that erasure? Latin people don't get offended when you call them Latin. They're not going to correct you and be like, don't call me Latin, call me Cuban, call me Puerto Rican, call me whatever of the various, ethnic backgrounds that they have. So
Hmm.
I feel like you can't be like no, but then not have a solution. You know what I mean? Like no one's trying to erase mulattoes. You can't do that in America. You guys have history in a chokehold. You feel me?
Hmm.
He said there's a lot of unambiguous mulattoes. That's what does that even mean?
Okay, but a Blasian can look like
Unambiguous.
you. Do you not realize that? Like anybody
We
of any
share a
type of
phenotype.
admixture can look like
Exactly.
you.
Exactly. That's
How do you look
exactly.
mulatto? How do you look mulatto? This is getting ridiculous. This is akin to looking Latin. How do you look Latin?
Exactly. There's so much diversity within that. There's not like one certain look like or one certain we do have a lot we do share DNA. Like we do share DNA at the end of the day. We're not trying to erase mulattoes. Like nobody's trying to erase us. We still have our terms. Like I do identify as mulatto, but I still could you could two things could be
Okay,
right at the same time. Two
you
things
see
could
magic mulatto. You see that this is what I was talking to you about in Discord. Like
Mhm.
this is showing me that this is not a space that is welcoming of outsiders outside of the mulatto admixture.
Yeah, guys, I definitely want to check that because I want this is my platform. I do want to bring other people, uplift all different mixes on my platform. I want to get to know us all. I want to because I do identify as mixed. That's one thing we have in common. Of course, you're Blasian, I'm mulatto. Of course, at the
Okay,
end of the
it's okay.
day,
I'm gonna drop down because you got some crybabies in your chat saying I'm pro black spewing anti mulatto sentiment. I'm Blasian. If you guys, it sounds like y'all are anti anyone who's not mulatto. So Magic, you're a cool girl, but I'm gonna drop down because I don't want to be accidentally offending people. You feel
I'm
me?
sorry.
It's
It's
all good,
okay.
girl.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, like, some people they think of like Steph Curry and Aisha Curry, and they don't realize they're MGM. So this is what I mean when I say that, it can get intermixed. It just really depends on the generation. Um, so I mean, I'm not saying that people who are a different mix than another mix should just erase their identity, but I'm just thinking from the standpoint of what everyone who's aligned with mixed people are trying to get accomplished. You do need to come together and
Exactly. That's a smart thing to do.
yeah, and
I don't really like this what y'all talking about. I don't really like y'all want to make other people who have different admixtures uncomfortable in my freaking space in my platform. Like that's not what I want. Like if you can't be respectful towards other people's races, like that's ridiculous. Like it's absolutely ridiculous because we like I said we have a common goal. We have a common thing that we want to work towards. And if you can't be respectful towards other how do you want people we're mulatto, right? We want people to respect us and our admixture. How are you not going to be able to respect somebody else's admixture? But you want respect for your own admixture. So how does that work? Like, how does that work? You got to think about stuff like that.
yeah.
I support allies. Okay.
But this is the funny thing, I think this may be the issue because when you're, well, at least for me speaking, I'm MGM, so I have all the mixes: biracial, triracial, quadracial. My sister's biracial. So it, to me, in some ways, it just seems a little silly, not to have your own identity, but to try and separate so much, because if you are biracial and you are about a mixed movement, you are going to have MGM kids. And so imagine your kids trying to get into a mixed space where, they have, say, two biracial parents, but there's a group that's like, oh, you can't be in here with us because you're not our specific
Exactly. It's
mix.
ridiculous. I don't support that. I removed them from the platform. They're gone. Sorry, Alvia. I'm sorry that the person made you feel uncomfortable. I apologize for that. Like, I want this to be a safe space for people to just share their experiences and not sit here people talking about, oh, you're erasing my. No, we're not erasing nothing. We're just trying to come together and learn about each other and, find find how we could get along in a mixed space. This is a mixed space for all the mixed people. So I don't see how
Yeah.
y'all so scared of embracing other people's mixtures, and I don't see how y'all so scared of feeling like that's gonna erase you. Like if you know who you are and you love yourself, like nobody could erase you. Nobody's gonna sit here and erase you. Like that's not. Mm-mm. Anyways, girl, you're welcome
Yeah.
back on here anytime. Like I removed them from the platform. I'm sorry about that. I really love what you are saying. Like I do. I invited you up here because I want to learn about the Blasian experiences and where you come from. I really do value that, and I'm sorry. Yes, it's insecure. Yeah, we can't be insecure. Like that is embarrassing for me as a mulatto person that we're that insecure, that we're scared to embrace other people's admixture because we're scared that we're gonna get erased. Like that's embarrassing for me. We can't do that.
Yeah.
Don't be embarrassing us out here. Like we got to be secure in who we are. Like okay, like we know we're mulatto. Okay, yes, we understand that. Like nobody's gonna take that away from us. If I say I'm mixed and I say I'm, two things gonna exist at once. Like it's not gonna take away nothing from me. It's not okay. Oh, she's coming back. Oh, there's Georgia. Okay, Georgia. Hello. Thank you for coming on the stream. I appreciate you. Thank you.
Yeah, anytime though, because I also kind of also just arrived home and I'm just now getting caught up date as to what's going on here. So I do agree with what she said in regards to how, hey, our kids are going to be MGM. I am MGM myself. So like for anyone over here who's saying is
Hey.
that the space needs to be exclusively to those who are just FGM, They have it very twisted
Yeah.
because that's not going to
Yeah,
happen,
that's not
because
gonna
we have
work.
to also be realistic about the world that we're in. Most people have that proclivity for their own. Most
Yeah.
people
Mm-hmm.
want to get with those like themselves. Most white people want another white person. Most black people want another white person, and so on and so forth. I've even
Yes.
had people turn me down because, hey, they just felt like I was just outside of the group, so to speak. So when we get with others like ourselves, it's no different than somebody who's FGM, because I still have the same exact experience, worldly experience,
Mm-hmm. We have, yep.
as somebody who is FGM. And in fact, I'm only ever compared to FGM celebrities like Elliot Hulse and Jesse Williams. I've been getting that for a long time, but I'm not FGM like those guys. So
Yeah.
we have to be pragmatic and realistic here about how this world works. So whoever is in here saying that, oh, this space should only be for FGMs, get out of here.
Tell them.
Yeah, it defeats the purpose of this whole video. It's like
Exactly. This is
if
all
you
about coming together and learning from each other's experiences and understanding and trying to find some unity within each other, not sit here and be like, oh, well, you're erasing me. And no, I don't feel like MGM people, everybody, this is a free platform. Anybody can come
Mhm.
up here and make content and speak on their experiences and speak on what they want to experience. You making content doesn't take it away from me and my voice. It really, it sure doesn't. Like, if you want to sit here and create a platform and speak on only your experiences from your perspective, that doesn't take nothing away from me, and I encourage that with people, and I want to learn more about with people. I want to have more people. Y'all are trying to drive away people from our community, and we're trying to grow our community. Like, we need to grow our community. We're not sitting here trying to just dwindle our community down to one Pacific. And then people, if and then people will find, oh, you know how it be like with biracial. Oh, well, you got a white mom, and you got. And then people try to be divided over like stupid shit like that. Like, oh, if you got a black mom, if you got a white mom, and people will find little petty shit to be divided at, even if you are two biracial, first generational biracial people. So it's like, no, we either try to expand and grow, or we're going to keep dwindling down and dividing. So those are the choices here we have in this space: either grow and expand and learn, or just keep dwindling until you have nothing left and you're just dust and you're just not even existing. Like, the space is not even going to exist because no two people are completely have exact same experiences or have the same, nobody. So it's like we have to learn about each other. We have to walk in each other's shoes
Yeah.
for a minute. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
I
agree.
also wanted to ask, so I think that I saw like Afro think tanks like comment in here, and I wanted to ask a really honest question. And I mean absolutely no disrespect whatsoever, bro, if you're listening. So if you're saying in your comment that the future is mixed, then what exactly would be the purpose of this Afrocentric or Hotep or pro-black movement then, if we're all going to be mixed?
oh, I would
I mean,
invite you
don't give
up
me.
here. I would love for you to come up here, Afro Think Tank. I would love for you if you want to respond to
Yeah,
that. I would love to have a
yeah,
conversation with
man,
you.
you're
You're
welcome
really
to come
good.
up here
Yeah,
if you
you're
like,
definitely
though,
welcome
because
anytime.
just a question I was just asking, though, like if we're basically all going to become basically diluted someday, then
Here comes somebody.
what would be the
Oh,
purpose
there go my
to
friend
even?
Abby. Hey, girl.
Hey, Abby.
Hey, Abby.
Hi.
Oh, thank you. Here. How you doing? Abby, I can't hear you. Hello?
I know I was struggling. I
Oh,
was
there
like,
you go.
I just said I'm afraid to bring the struggle. Let me close all the other windows. Hey guys, how are you tonight?
Oh my
Hi,
God,
Hi.
baby. Hi,
she's so cute.
hi. Mwah, mwah, mwah,
Your little
mwah.
girl is
I
so
see you.
Thank
adorable.
you. That's my
Yes,
baby. Yeah, she's
yes.
like MGM, if technically,
You
So
know what? I just wanted to make a point about MGM and the idea that we can kind of have something in common with them. You might find that they come here wanting to embrace a lot of the other cultures that their family is a part of, and they only find themselves in one culture. And here you are, the product of so many different things, and your family is like, it's just easier to be here, or we may identify more because of financial reasons. That's why we're here, whether no matter what. But as a product of that, you know what you're mixed with. You know a little bit of what everybody has in your family, and you want to explore it. We here have this sort of way of floating in and out and being able to explore it because that's part of who we are. Don't feel like it's not part of who you are. You may have all your life identified with one thing, lived around one type of people, and you may still feel this way. But if you know you have a little bit of something else in your family, why not explore the culture? Why not be around those people? Why not include it? It's still in you. And that's maybe the thing, the common thing that we can bring you to here in this space. You don't have to change. If you identify as what you identify, what difference does it make? What you choose to explore. That's an individual choice. And everybody here made the individual choice to stand 10 toes down for their 2 love sources, 3 love sources, 5 love sources. Join the party.
Yep. Yep. And
Oh, I
appreciate
love
all of them,
that.
right? And appreciate all of them. We're gonna really celebrate and
Like
appreciate
I
all
always
of our
start, I
love.
always
Yeah.
start with the food. You know what I'm
Oh
saying?
yes, yes.
Start with the food. Go eat every little bit that goes in your veins, put it in your mouth. Go have a night where we're going to explore the food of these people. And I think because I live in New York, I have the unique opportunity to be in restaurants or total neighborhoods that are immersed in certain cultures. And so that makes it easy for me. But if you decide to go to a restaurant, let's say that's one of your family's cultural mixes, right? And you go to a restaurant in a neighborhood, a real restaurant, not some, a real one where the waiters speak the language, where you may even have to pull out the translator for the menu, the whole 9 yards. It's like going to Chinatown to get real Chinese food, not like, yellow rice and peas is fried. That's not it. You know what it is. And go there and give yourself a day or of the festival. I always tell everybody, go to the festival. Whoever's having a festival, if you have a little bit of that in your family, go check it out. That's the exploration you can do. It's not going to change who you are. It's just going to expose you to more than what you are or what you've been told you are or what you've identified with. That's all.
I love that. Thank you for that
Fair
suggestion.
enough.
I love we're gonna
I'll let you
explore.
bring the other guy up because I don't think you have more than 4 people, right? So I'm going to go down and I'll
Okay.
let you bring him up. Have a
All
good
right. He
have a
said he
good night,
can't. He
everyone.
said he
He
can't do
said
it,
he
but
would
I'm
come up here,
gonna.
but he's at work.
Yeah, he
Oh, okay. I'll
says.
get it then. I'll
Let me
stay
read
because
his
I'm.
comment. He said, "Well, I myself am not a mix, but I'm just a light skinned black guy, and as an African, I know that my people need to get themselves same, honey. I feel like that's same with our people. Once we organize as a group, we can
Yeah,
make
you got
allies
that in common.
with
Sure.
other groups, and we're
Absolutely.
marginalized, and the
Who
same
doesn't want
rich
to get
folks.
themselves together? You got to start
Yeah,
with the inner circle first before you can even move to the bigger picture. So
100%.
absolutely. It
Yeah,
starts
like
with you and then your community of who you decide to hang around with and then from that point on. So absolutely.
absolutely, yeah. And I said on his channel, I was like, I definitely want to be allies with like the black community because we do share a lot of struggles and similarities.
We
But as
are,
long as
you
it's
know
a
what?
two
We
two-way
are already,
relationship.
let's think about it. We are already allies because the moment something happens that is happening to people who cannot somehow get it together to get back, we align ourselves in in
Yep.
in in solidarity in some type of way, knowing what it feels like to be different than the other, if you know what I mean. There's certain things we can't get away from. So we have to just understand this. But that doesn't mean that we don't love who we are and we can't love both love sources. And I think a lot of our families have felt the same way about either the one or the other side. There's got to be something that brought them together where they sort of clicked on something, whether it be I just want to get away from this mindset, or I just want to explore a different culture, or I just want to be around somebody that kind of is digging on my ideology, or we may just like the same things. It might not even have anything to do with race. It might just be people just liking each other, and it really doesn't matter. So for whatever reason it is, when the shit hits the fan, we're there, right?
Yep.
Where are we?
We're
So it
there.
doesn't really matter at that point in time to say, we got to get it together as a people and then we can get our allies. Y'all been trying to get it together for a little too long. Okay, enough is enough. What you decide you think is your allies is a whole nother ball game. I'm getting that rhetoric and that thought process gets a little bit like annoying after a while because you're hearing it overnight. What's it going to take to get it together? What is it? Oh, let me tell you something. I am actually a huge fan of Marcus Garvey. I'm sure he's not a fan of mine for my reasons, but I actually like some of his ideology. And I'll be honest with you, I don't know why somebody hasn't picked up that idea since 1930 to 2022 by now. If you can't get it together now and colonize Africa and go make money with Africa and stop letting other countries in, you're never going to do it. You had until 1930 to do it. He was
Yep.
brave. Even if it was a scam, he was braver than you. So I don't want to hear it no more. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm going to chill.
Yeah, shout out to African Think Tank. I believe you can be more than one thing, or there's 200 things at once. Celebrate all of you. Don't pain. I appreciate you. Of course, we have different views, but I appreciate you as a person for trying to understand this, because we've dealt with a lot of bashing, a lot of people who either don't hate us because we hate us because we
I
won't
get
pick a
where he
side.
is. We've all
So
been
yeah, we've
there.
all
I
been
think
there. Yeah,
we've all
we've
been
all
there.
been
So
there.
I feel you. But just like, you know what? Stop regurgitating the same thing that you're hearing and be about action. You know what
Got to
I'm
be
saying?
about
I
action.
heard all the talking points. The talking points have been going on since 1930 with the Pan Africans. And if you're
Yes.
going to do something, do it already.
Yep.
It's not like you can't get on a plane and go to Africa. What are you over there doing? I want to see some product. I want to see what's going on.
Almost all have never even been over there and have no intention to do so because they're
Mulatta
more
Vanguard
interested
been
off
there.
of capitalizing off their people's
And
emotions.
why bother? And
Mm-hmm.
why bother if you're not? You could be in closer places making things happen. You could be making things happen right here. What are you worried about what other people in other continents are doing? When you get over there, you don't have the same governmental rights as the people that even live there. So why don't you start at home? I'm getting a little, let me.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's not get off the topic because the topic is about us. But here we go again. Here we go. We got
Well, fun fact: MGM, whether you're MGM or whether you're biracial, multiracial, whatever, you're still referred to as colored in Africa. So, yeah,
absolutely. We have a color in our skin, no matter where we go. You know what I'm saying? It ain't lobster red. It is what we are. It is a color.
Mm-hmm.
It is a color.
Mm-hmm.
I get
The
it.
golden
We're
people.
not gonna exactly. We're not gonna be like everybody else. And when you realize that and you figure that out, you're a
exactly.
lot happier. You figured it out.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Figure it
Absolutely.
out. You're not like everybody else. And even you as an MGM, or your parents have being MGMs and you're being the product of an M, you're not like everybody else. You're going to be a little more wondering about, I have so much in me. Why not explore it? I am different. I feel different. I think different. I want to see what's going on. I want to be around different types of people. It's your need to explore. It doesn't take away from who you are and what you identify or where you came from.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. And I can attribute that to Caribbean culture just because whenever we move places, like we like to blend in with the society because I have uncles who live in Canada and family who lives in the UK. I have an uncle who is from the UK. In just different areas all over the world, and they all have different accents. And I have always traveled because, yeah, when you're mixed with so much stuff,
Mm-hmm.
you just feel like you're a person. You're a person, and
And
every culture
you
could
know
be
Do you
what?
feel like you like
And
interesting.
as
assimilate to like the culture, like the dominant culture? Do you feel like you have to like assimilate to them?
I
Kind of
think
like
wherever
that?
you go, you look for your tribe first, and then you sort
Mm-hmm.
of branch out.
Mm-hmm.
And even within your tribe, there are people you don't want to be around. It doesn't matter,
Oh
does
yeah.
it?
Oh
We
yeah. That's
all
so
got,
true.
some people. It doesn't matter what color. We could all be the same color in the room. It's like it's
There's
just
gonna be people you
those
don't vibe with.
people.
Yeah, that's true.
Exactly. That's all it is. It's a vibe more than a racial makeup at times. It's like those people. It's
Oh,
like
African think tank. He about it. He said, "I'm currently in Nigeria. I've built a business. Built a compound bank. There, do business there. Employ. I know that's right. You about it. You about the action. I sponsor
okay.
kids. Go to school for free. I made up
Yeah.
your life. You doing
There you
something. I
go.
respect that. I
You are
respect
you
that.
are
That's what's
living
up.
you are living you are
You
living the
walking the
vision.
walk.
You are there making money. You are there taking your piece of Africa. You are there doing it. You are living his vision. I
I
get it.
respect it. Yeah,
Yes,
that's cool.
very much so.
Yeah,
Much
much
I'm
respect to
kind
respect
you.
of
here.
I'm kind of curious, Afro Think Tank. What made you want to come into the live for this conversation in
Well, please don't
particular.
talk. We're not here
I'm
talking
Oh,
just
about Umar. No
curious.
Umar talk is allowed. No Umar
no,
talk. No, no,
Umar.
no,
Oh,
no,
you
no
know
Umar
what?
talk.
I actually
You can't even with it.
he made like a little clickbait video of him like him versus angry biracial, acting like he finna go in on him or something. And
Yeah,
then but
anything to get his. I know
he
he
was
was
actually
feeling
like
him.
he
He was
admitted it. He
feeling
was
him.
like
I know he
he's
was
like this was
feeling him.
clickbait. But he was yeah, he was just agreeing with what he said and I said
I
I
thought
really
that was
I
sweet. I
responded. I
actually
thought it
thought it
was
was
nice.
kind of sweet
Yeah, it
because
was
to get
cute.
his
Yeah.
attention, to give him a shout out, might not have brought him over there with the same energy and
Right.
Berber as a little bit of beef.
Uh-huh.
What did he say? What did he say? I get it. I get it. Bring it. Bring it. Bring it.
Yeah, but I thought it was really cool, and then like how he's very respectful of us. That's rare. You're the first like pro black person who actually like is not trying to tell us who we are. You're actually saying we should embrace who we are. You're not trying to sit here and be like you have to pick
Like
a
in this
side and
day and age,
trying to
we're really going to be
weaponize us.
listening to somebody tell us. We've heard it all before. There's nothing
Okay.
anybody's bringing over here. You know what I'm saying? No, you can't bring it. We're not even hearing you. And we have no
Yeah.
room for you. You know, we have no
Yeah,
room.
as long as people are respecting how we choose to identify, they're not trying to tell us to pick a side. You know, they're respecting who we are, and you're trying to understand us. I really do appreciate that a lot because you're like the first pro black person who has that type of mindset, and I really do appreciate it. You know, I
But
really do
see, the whole
respect it,
thing
and I
about
think it's good.
Garvey is he did want to only do business and make money with Africa. But see, my thing is this. I find it very interesting that people are wanting to go over there to make money with people that someone's already kind of landed over there to make money with. And they have a little bit of a strange kind of relationship with American blacks. And I don't know why you don't go to other impoverished countries like Haiti who fought back and helped them because they
Yes.
literally scorched their earth fighting for freedom from slavery. They literally scorched the ground they walked on so nothing will grow. Why don't you help them? I got a problem with how Haiti gets treated. So, call me what you want,
Respect
but
to Haiti. Yeah, they fought back.
Africans sold one another to the colonists. Haitians fought back.
Yep, they sure did. They weren't taking that shit. They're like, nope.
Why
Yep.
you're not giving them no money? Because you're conditioned to believe helping them will somehow hurt you. And American people their minds are stuck. And they're still afraid to help Haiti because they feel like helping them will bring down that resentful wrath. And that's why we give money to African people when they're starving. We give money to African people when they have famines. We give money to African people when they're sick. We give money to African people all the time. And if you look throughout history, they're the ones that sold us. This wasn't, the colonists running through the woods, running after Kunta Kinte, putting the chains on him. It didn't happen like that. They marched the losing tribes to the end of the river, to the end of the ocean, and put them on ships and sold them, literally. And Haitian people literally fought back to the
Yep.
point where
Even the
they
mixed
scorched.
race. I really,
Yeah,
yeah,
big time. And
the
their
mixed race
their
people.
their
Yeah.
history of knowing what mixed race is all about, it's there, and it came here. So this is why I put this movie out for everybody to come watch. Definitely MGM's. This is your story. This is every island person's story, and this is an important history. You have got to change the way you're thinking in order to appreciate who you are. And
I want to
I
say
can't
one thing
I
about that
can't say
movie.
Hollywood. I can't say Hollywood tells the truth all the time, or is really telling you history. But once you get a little piece of it, go a little deeper on your own, and find out what they're not telling you.
Definitely. I can't wait till that movie panel. It's the Feast of All Saints. We're going to do a movie panel on Abby NYC. And I want to say
Saturday
one thing
night,
about
come
that
on out.
movie. I want to say one thing about that movie. Should I spoil it? I'm not going to spoil it. Never mind. We'll wait. I got a lot to say about that movie, but we'll save it for the movie
Wait for
panel.
me
We'll
though. I haven't
save
seen it.
it. Yeah,
No, he hasn't seen
yeah,
it
I'm not going
yet.
to
I'm
spoil it.
giving
Yeah.
everybody teasers. I'm giving you back history. Definitely check out about the history of what you don't know, especially as an island person. Pay all respect to Haiti because they fought and they fought with Jamaica and they put the word out. And I'm serious. Say what you want, but when you learn about this that you don't know in school, you stop looking at Africa for everything and bow down to the people who truly fought back. You understand? Because they didn't fight for you, and this is why. And now, everybody's idea is to go back to the motherland is if, you know, okay, go back and build. I get what Garvey was trying to do. He wanted to literally colonize the other way around. And that's what they're mistakenly not really giving you the whole full scope. So the guy, he's really doing it. He's going there, he's opening his business, he's doing his thing, and I get it. But when it comes to certain other aspects of it, I think our minds and our thoughts are in the wrong direction for who really needs our help and who really needs us to step up. And that's why it's been too long.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, Haitians weren't the only ones to fall back. Anybody want to chime in on this topic? It's an open panel. Anybody can come speak their piece on what they think. Liberia, yeah, just like what happened in Liberia, exactly. So, yeah, it's definitely. I'm so interested in
Many
history.
have fought back. Many have fought back. Don't get me wrong. Many have fought back, but they were fighting since the 1700s, since they started colonizing the United States. Okay, so the minute they landed here, they were fighting there. So there's a difference between what you know is happening somewhere else and what's happening here. They're here. We're running from one place to the other to get free. They're literally fighting back and burning the crops to do it. So the earth is now so scorched, they really can't grow anything. Where it used to be where they grew everything, coffee, sugar, everything came from there. Why can't they do this again? There's been a lot of corruption and other crap, but I'm just as your historical point of view about how mixed race people come to be, how they're part of history, how they land here, the difference in class systems and all that type of thing. It still has its roots in fear. It's still here in what we talk about and even what we learn. We don't learn about this in school, and that's the problem.
Yeah, I think that, the problem is like with them like hiding our history. I think they do want to instill like an inferiority complex within us that we're gonna fight back against. Like it's so shameful to be like a mixed race. Like people don't want to claim if we claim that we're mixed, people think that we're anti-black, we hate our blackness and stuff. That's the one that really annoys me so
Yeah,
much.
but
Like if
that's
I
what?
it annoys me.
It's like telling you you can only date your race. Well, which one? Which one? I can date anybody I want and still be dating my race, part of who I
Exactly.
am. So I just is that thing where people want to tell you, if you do this, you're not doing this. That's their problem, not yours. You have the right to explore your culture. You have the right to embrace all your love sources, right down to the I am only an eighth of this or 1% on my damn uh 23 and me. 1% of what? I'm gonna go eat the food. I want to go
Right.
check the peoples. I want to know what they're doing.
I like that. Yeah.
I want to check it because who knows? I
Yeah,
might
there's so
meet
much
somebody in
shame.
that 1% culture and that 1% thing I did that may change my life.
Yeah, we should
And I
definitely
wouldn't have
embrace
thought
even
to
the
do that if I
1%.
keep letting people tell me I'm not allowed. Who are these people? You're that paying your rent.
Exactly.
Give me a
Exactly.
break.
Exactly. I do love that because people like to shame people. Oh, I'm 1/8 this. And it's like, why would you claim? Of course, why would I not claim it? That was still an ancestor of mine somewhere
And
along
what
the
is
line
this
that
idea of
came together and
claiming?
created me.
But wait a minute, it's funny how they don't want you to claim something, but they want to tell you what to claim. If you don't shut
Exactly.
up,
Exactly. Hi, Tuti. Welcome. Thank you for coming up
Hello,
here.
everyone. I'm so
Hi.
excited to be here. Hello.
Thank you for being here.
hello.
Hello.
Hey.
Hi, Tuti.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I just came in because I low key was listening to the live, low key was working, but I wanted to bring up the fact that I've been noticing this idea that random weirdos among the African diaspora can sit and challenge someone's identity or blackness. And mind you, we're not black, we're mixed, but it's just like we have a born right, a God-given right to be in the African diaspora, and for people to just randomly say, "Oh no, you don't belong here, you can't be here," it's just sick to me. Yeah.
And who
Very
are
sick.
these people? Are these people
Very
that
sick.
who are
Rando.
they? Who are they? And what
Okay.
are they? And what do not why do you know what? It took me a long time and I think it comes with age to not give a shit about what people think. It's the most freeing experience in your life when you really can genuinely say, I really don't care what these people think.
Absolutely.
It takes a while though, because when you're young, every little thing people say and every little thing people do, it matters. Like what are they going to think of me? Oh my god, oh my god. When you're a teenager, like the things you used to think of were going to destroy your entire life. Oh my god, I'm school tomorrow and everybody
Yes.
hates me, and oh my god, the drama. When you're an adult, you're like, what in the world was I
Right.
thinking? Why? You're
Right. And
getting
the thing is
every
like
Stop.
as time
Stop.
goes on, more and more and more and more you get like that. So when these people get up in your face, they
I got it.
can't even come
Stop.
up on you because you have this look and this like fortress around you. Like what?
All right,
I
go
don't
ahead.
think so. As time goes on, they can't even approach you.
Absolutely, yeah, because
Absolutely.
that's something that's hurt us a lot. Because when we get our like little us as we get our biracial wake up call because we identify as like black for so long, and then so many people are coming
Yes,
against us
let's
saying,
talk about
you
the
know,
petition. Let's talk about the petition for
oh
all of
yeah,
those people that have such a hard time with us being in the black diaspora, the African diaspora, or, oh, you're not white enough. Oh, you're not black enough. Oh, you're not whatever enough. Oh, excuse me. Please sign this petition because we don't want to be anything but what we are. And separating ourselves or classifying ourselves as exactly what we are will help you as well. So please take the time to sign the petition. Okay, if
yep,
you don't want us replacing if you don't want a black person being replaced by a biracial person as the first black this and the first black that, we will happily change that title to the first biracial this, and then you can have another classification all your own.
absolutely, absolutely, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that's where I
Definitely think.
stand.
Helping us helps you get rid of us in a sense. Not get rid of us, but we'll happily say we're biracial. Okay, we are what we are. We're not denying what we are. We're not talking about how what we identify. We're not talking about the people we're most comfortable around. we Many of us want to be able to not have to check just other. We can be mixed, we can be biracial, we can be whatever it is. So we classify ourselves, and you don't feel like we're taking up any space, that you feel is should be for you. You know, that's it.
He said he's trying to start some shit and still start people being more respectful. I'm not signing nothing. All right, that's your right.
What
I
did he
try to
say?
be
What did he say? Until people start being more
more
Well,
respectful.
he can't
respectful.
spell.
I
That's
ain't
the
signing. Oh, I
problem.
ain't signing it. Oh, okay. Well, you know what? Why not? What do you what disrespect do you think that we're causing you? I don't get it. Tell us what disrespect you feel is being caused. They can say whatever they want to say. It doesn't change how
On
you
the
feel or
last
what you
stream,
do.
that went left. Oh,
Look,
on the
you know
last
what?
stream,
What I don't
it
understand
went
about
left.
this whole MGM thing is you're too busy trying to pick at the minutia to see the
Hmm.
commonality. The
That's what
common
I'm
thing
trying to
about
get there.
common thing
Exactly.
about MGM people is they want to be able to explore everything about their racial
Yes.
makeup between their parents
Exactly.
and any as far back as they want to, and they don't. And you don't have to listen to anybody tell you why would you want to do that. It's none of your business.
Exactly.
Okay, if you decide you want to go take off 6 months or take off a year and go and take a boat and go around the world to all the places that is on your genealogy chart, what is that their problem? It's not going to change who you are. It's not going to change where you're from. It's not going to change how you identify. It's just going to change your mindset, because after you explore the world, you're not going to come back the same person, and that's what they're afraid of. So once you go around and decide you want to explore who you are without having to answer to anybody else and say, I'm a quarter this and I'm going to go over there and be with those quarter people and see what they're about and be all up in their house. And
Right.
where is their cookout? Where's their cookout? They got a card. We can have a quarter of that card that they always telling you, you can't come to the cookout. We're going to take your black house, set that bitch on fire and be running over somewhere else. Okay. What do I need it for? Go somewhere else.
Okay. I think that's kind
Go
of
where the love
the
is. Go where the love is, because this
definitely
is why. Go where the love is. And if you
that's the
feel like you want to
blessing.
explore it, we're here exploring all of our love sources here.
Absolutely.
This is
That's
the
the
thing we
blessing
have
of
in
being
common. Don't
bicultural. If
waste
you're
your
a,
time. Don't waste your time with listening to other people tell you that that you have to identify as something else. You may not like, and I get it, why you may not like a lot of the anti-black rhetoric. I get it. I absolutely get it, because your family, this is where you were raised, and this is what everybody is, and this is what you know, and this is fine. But in your mind, your family is so many different cultures, and if you decide you want to explore them, it doesn't have anything to do with being anti-black or
yep.
anti anything.
Yep. If
It's
you want
just
to
an
explore different
opportunity.
cultures.
Why did you take the DNA test? Because you wanted to know, right? Everybody acts like they don't want to know. As soon as you know, then what are you going to do? Sit around and tell everybody how you're a quarter this and a quarter that, and my family's this and my family's that. Okay, now what? Are you going to embrace it all? Are you going to explore it all? What are you going to do? And is anybody going to
Hi.
tell you, don't forget you black? Oh, well.
Sorry, I'm gonna step down because I don't have anything further to contribute.
Thank you so
But thank you so
much. I
much for
appreciate
Good
you.
night,
inviting me.
darling. Yeah, well, no,
Thank you. I
please,
appreciate you
please
so
come check out
much.
the film
Thank
night. Come
you.
talk, come talk to us. We're doing films and always has something to do.
Yep, I definitely agree. That's one of the
Something I
blessings of
said.
being like, oh no, you good. That's one of the
It's
blessings of being
okay.
like,
I know why they would be a little bit uncomfortable with people,
you
whatever the case
good.
may be. But I don't want them to feel like they can't come here and explore anything that they have in their
Exactly.
gene pool and not feel like they have to answer to anybody. Maybe that's the thing we have in common.
Right,
Maybe that's what
right.
I'm finding.
So yeah, that's what I was saying about being bicultural. I think that's a blessing that we got to experience different cultures. You know what I'm saying? I think that's a very blessed experience because I really I don't know what it's I can't relate to people who only been in one culture their whole life. You know what I'm saying? Only have one perspective on things because I think that's one of the things about being like biracial and multiracial, and it's about we can see so many different perspectives because every group has their own collective perspective on things. Like white people they have their own perspective, black people have their own lens that they see the viewed and they
You know
see the
what it
world,
is
and
more
it's
so? I think
interesting. Yeah.
if you have a right to embrace all of your love sources, if for some people all they feel like they have is one love source and they feel
Mm-hmm.
like they're somehow being, not so faithful to the one love source by embracing another one, they don't have the freedom you have. And I think that's what brings a lot of that into play and why people have a real problem with sort of how we feel like we want to embrace both love sources. And I don't want MGMs. They have so much rich culture. They actually probably have so many more love sources than we do. Why not? If this is what you want to do, but at the end of the day, if you identify and your family is all black and they've always been black and they've always identified with black, and you're the first one in your family's generation to be curious about all the other cultures, why not? Why not? If you feel uncomfortable, you feel like there's something different about you, don't worry about it. It's like traveling. You can't tell people where to go. If you want to go see something, go see it. And why are you listening to people tell you that it has anything to do with your loyalty to them? What is what you have to do with
Mm-hmm.
anybody else at some point in your life? Your first loyalty is to
Facts.
yourself.
Facts. Facts.
What happened in Georgia? Now, what's going on over here in the chat? You right. You have a right to embrace everybody. Do it. Why not? What are we doing? You know what? Take your hate on an individual basis. I will admit there are some people I don't like, but I usually know their name and address. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna blanket the world with it.
Yeah, but I'm gonna go ahead and close out this stream because I just want to make it clear that my whole point was this to like open up the conversation to all mixes. It's not just a mulatto space only. It's not only people of black, white. It's everybody welcome. And I'm sorry about people who made people feel uncomfortable and was being trolling. And I just wish that
It was an
we could.
unfortunate situation, but don't answer to the trolls. As a matter of fact, stop these people when they want you to sit down and explain to them, and that's just them throwing you off your love game, throwing you off your train of thought, throwing you off this, so you could take the time to show them some attention because they need to know what your agenda is. None of your
Right,
business. None of your
exactly.
business.
So
Stay the
yeah,
course. And everybody come to movie night. I want to hear everybody's opinion on what they're seeing in film, how we're being represented. A lot of history in there. Know your own history, embrace it, figure a lot of things out via your history. Maybe there's something in there you're going to learn that's going to help you throughout your life. You just never know. And I want us to be able to look at our imagery in film and in history and how we're seen and ask ourselves, is this really the right way? And
right. All right.
which one of us are going to make our own movies from now on?
Right.
We might find a
Exactly.
movie maker in this, right?
Yep.
Okay, you guys have a good one.
All right. Love you guys. Everybody, bye.
Love
Have a good
you.
day. Bye.